Air Force One is the most famous presidential plane on the planet, but the first American president has multiple forms of transportation by land, sea, and air. Of course, the powerful helicopters of the Navy are also at his disposal. In this video we are going to enter the classified hangars of Quantico, to meet the imposing Marine One and the team of 800 people who take care of it. But we are also going to talk about a helicopter in which the president is strictly prohibited from setting foot inside, for reasons that you surely cannot imagine. Join us to discover everything about the presidential helicopters of the United States. As with Air Force One, Marine One is not a specific ship, but rather the title given to any Navy helicopter carrying the President of the United States. There is not just one, there are about a dozen helicopters in the presidential fleet, and they can all be identified by their white tops and green fuselage. The relationship between American presidents and helicopters dates back to 1957, when President Dwight D. Eisenhower traveled in a Bell UH-13J Sioux, and these aircraft were soon adopted as a fast and safe means of transportation for short distances. Since then, a curious tradition has also been perpetuated. Wherever Marine One travels, there is a Marine dressed in his traditional uniform waiting to receive the president. And wherever is not a way of saying. It is said that on one occasion Bill Clinton was transported to a remote point in the Grand Canyon, and there, sitting on a rock, a young Marine in his full uniform was waiting for him. The team in charge of transporting the political head of the United States is Marine Helicopter Squadron 1, also known as HMX-1. If necessary, they also often transport the vice president and other important political figures in the country. Due to the importance of their work, a team of more than 800 Marines ensures that the helicopters are always ready to take off. This entails a constant review of the equipment and testing of the ships to ensure their optimal operation. When it comes to transporting a president, there is rarely a single aircraft involved, but usually a team made up of utility helicopters, assault helicopters, and other related aircraft. In general, the North American presidential helicopter is usually a gigantic VH-3D Sea King, or the more modest VH-60N Whitehawk. The Sea King, also called S-61, is a multi-purpose, twin-engine helicopter whose main role is to carry out anti-submarine warfare operations. With a length of 22 meters and a main rotor diameter of 16.4 meters, it is the largest presidential use helicopter in the United States. Up to 30 people can travel inside the VH-3D Sea King, with a maximum takeoff weight of 10,000 kilograms. Despite its large size, it advances at a top speed of 270 kilometers per hour thanks to its two General Electric T-58-10 engines. Inside this beast, the American president has plenty of space to carry out his activities. In contrast, the VH-60N Whitehawk is a VIP transportation adapted model of the classic UH-60 Black Hawk. It is a somewhat more modest aircraft, with a length of 19.7 meters and the capacity to transport up to 16 people. The strange thing is that, despite being smaller, its maximum takeoff weight is 10,600 kilograms, something more than the Sea King. The Black Hawk is a utility helicopter that has gone down in history thanks to its versatility and great features. It is possible to arm it to turn it into a true flying arsenal, or accommodate it to be a VIP flight platform. For security reasons, it is not known for sure what weapons or protections the presidential VH-60N has. As we anticipated, there are some specific models that the President of the United States cannot ride under any circumstances, such as the V-22 Osprey, whose silhouette and strange design you are sure familiar with. The Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey is a multi-role military aircraft, classified as a convertiplane, or tilt-rotor aircraft, which gives it its strange and iconic appearance and explains its vertical takeoff and landing, and short takeoff and landing capabilities. It combines the maneuverability of a helicopter with the speed and range of a turboprop aircraft, making it one of the preferred tools of the United States Marine Corps. So why can't the president take advantage of such qualities? Currently, the V-22 Osprey is exclusively dedicated to transporting workers from the White House, Secret Service and media, and this has various reasons ranging from strategic to purely aesthetic reasons. On the surface, the Osprey's rotors are not suitable for landings at the White House. A convertiplane would seriously damage the backyard where landings usually take place. In addition, it would require a reconfiguration of the space in the White House, something that the US government tries to avoid for security reasons. The second reason, much more related to the security of the president, is that in the event of a massive failure of the systems, an airplane can slide and a conventional helicopter can take advantage of the propellers for a forced landing, but in a convertiplane like the Osprey, these situations would be much more critical and with high chances of mortality. For safety reasons, Marine One is never easy to spot when taking to the skies. It often travels in groups of up to 5 identical helicopters that help confuse and complicate any potential threat against the aircraft. Upon taking off, these helicopters begin to change their position in the formation, seeking to hide the location of the president, a maneuver sometimes called the president's trial. Marine One is also equipped with standard anti-missile countermeasures for thermal and radar-guided projectiles, as well as an ALQ-144A infrared countermeasures. In addition, to become a presidential pilot, you have to pass numerous tests that begin with an introductory course at the Marine base located in the city of Quantico, Virginia. In parallel, the Department of Defense conducts a full investigation of the applicants, evaluating their career, their psychological profile and their inner circle, to make sure that your uncle or your cousin are not international terrorists. Major N.J. Storm, of the HMX-1 team, believes that in the process, there is a rediscovery factor for the craft. I think the pilots who come to this facility can experience naval aviation the way they thought it was when they were in flight school. Once you're qualified, you can take a helicopter and fly anywhere in the United States. Transporting the president or a political figure of great importance is a huge responsibility for any helicopter pilot. They don't usually land in hostile territory or engage in gunfire and blast operations, but every presidential flight is considered a military operation, and every time the pilots touch down they know they have to do it with pinpoint precision. There's no room for mistakes. Pilots must take into consideration the weather, possible routes, and the course of other aircraft in the sky. These variables are constantly changing, since the presidential agenda is not only bulky, but also unpredictable. Most people watch Marine One on television as it lands or takes off from the back lawn of the White House, but when not in use, the presidential helicopters are sheltered at the Quantico base, where they receive constant maintenance. As we already told you, there is an entire team dedicated to inspecting, repairing, and refueling these presidential aircraft, in the same way that Air Force One has its special operators dedicated solely to its maintenance. Usually these helicopters do not receive serious structural damage, but an attempt is made to keep them looking like new and ready to take off at any time. Although the Marine One does not have the level of popularity that the Air Force One, it is still one of the most efficient transports used by the President of the United States since the 50s. This is how we come to the end of this video. If you like learning about these aircraft, we invite you to subscribe and activate notifications to be aware of our news. We will meet in the next video of military aviation.